Yankee Stadium, New York City, the second game between the Los Angeles Dodgers and the New York Yankees. Game number one, the Yankees won it 4-3, 12 innings. Second baseman Willie Randolph, first World Series home run, makes the score 2-2, sixth inning. Left-hander Sparky Lyle comes striding out of the Yankee bullpen in the ninth inning. He works 3 2/3 inning. He wins his third straight game in postseason play for the Yankees. Paul Blair drives across the winning run, bottom of the 12th inning with this single. The winning hit, a crowning blow for Paul Blair's career. So the Yankees have a 1-0 lead in 1977 World Series. And tonight, live from Yankee Stadium, game number 2 between the Dodgers and Yankees. This ABC Sports exclusive brought to you by Chevrolet. See what's new today at your Chevrolet dealer. By Gillette, makers of new environmental formula Right Guard and Soft and Dry. And by General Motors Parts Division. Yankee Stadium literally glittering on a clear, cool, rather autumnal evening in New York City as we get ready for game number 2 between the Dodgers and the Yankees. You know, this has been a place of history, and it might well be again tonight. Hello, everybody. I'm Keith Jackson. And I guess making history consists simply of being in the right place at the right time, and the World Series has been a showcase of history. Let me drop a couple of names on you. Dusty Rhodes, 1954 New York Giants. He became a National Baseball hero from that series. And how about a young fellow named Al Weiss, a .215 hitter, who was a very big man in the Mets miracle of 1969. Some candidates for 1977. How about Paul Blair, who one time perhaps thought his career might be about over, but he's been a very prominent figure in the pennant game in Kansas City, and again winning game number 1 in the World Series for the Yankees last night. Howard Cosell, however, has another candidate.
Well, I think that which you stated is exactly right, and it's curious how unique heroes can evolve in World Series play, Keith. But I might suggest Willie Randolph, who you saw hit the home run yesterday, who also got a double, who sparkled in the field, who may be the best all-around athlete on the Yankee team for that matter, and who, curiously, they talked about trading, unbeknownst to Yankee fans, at one point in Willie's still short Yankee career. But the focus tonight, the storyline has to be, and Bill White touched on this in the pregame show, Jim Catfish Hunter, the almost legendary pitcher. One of the truly great pitchers in contemporary baseball history, a man sidelined since September 10th, a man with severe doubts about himself, but a man with a great conscience about the money he was paid as the first free agent. You'll be hearing from him shortly, and we'll have to see how he does tonight. He himself doesn't really know. For an interesting analysis of the Dodger pitching situation, who better to talk about it than Tom Terrific Seaver.
Thank you, Howard. Well, Catfish will be going against Bert Hooton tonight, the man with a knuckle curveball. He won 12 games this year for the Los Angeles Dodgers. They got him in a trade a couple of seasons ago from the Chicago Cubs. But the story really for the Dodgers is the man who is not pitching tonight, Tommy John, their 20-game winner, the fellow who was their best pitcher all year long. Tommy pitched last Saturday in Philadelphia against the Philadelphia Phillies, the game that won the National League pennant for the Dodgers. Manager Tommy Lasorda of the Dodgers does not like to pitch his pitchers on a 4-day rotation. He likes the 5-day rotation. So Tommy John will pitch Friday, game number 3 in Los Angeles. For Tommy John to pitch twice in this World Series, it's going to have to go 7 games. And another fact, both times Tommy John would pitch, an American League umpire would be behind home plate. But nonetheless, it's Bert Hooton and Catfish Hunter. We had a super game last night, another super one coming up in just a few moments.
All right, Tom Seaver, and as we settle in now for the pregame ceremonies here at Yankee Stadium, just prior to game number 2, a look down into the Los Angeles Dodger dugout. Their day has been spent rather quietly at their hotel in Midtown. Manager Tom Lasorda showing some signs of nervousness as he visits with various press conferences and friends who came to see him. But now the Dodgers are about to be introduced, and a man who spent the day with the Los Angeles Dodgers as well as the season, one of the Dodger voices, Ross Porter.
Okay, Keith. Tommy Lasorda celebrated his 50th birthday a couple of weeks ago. The starting lineup for the Dodgers tonight, Davey Lopes at second base. He walked in the first inning last night and scored the first run of the series. At shortstop, Bill Russell. He tripled in Lopes with the first run of this year's series.
The number 3 hitter
in right field, Reggie Smith. The Dodgers' only switch hitter will bat left-handed tonight. His best side for power and average.
Ron Say.
At third base, batting cleanup, Ron Say. He contributed a sacrifice fly last night, his 5th RBI in the 5 Dodger postseason games.
Batting 5th. At
first base, Steve Garvey. And he was involved in the first controversy of the series last night when he was called out trying to score with the Dodgers ahead 2-1 in the 6th inning. Garvey thought he was safe.
Dusty Baker.
Dusty Baker will be in left field and bat 6th. Baker has been on base at least once in 49 of the last 50 Dodger games. In center field, Rick Monday, out 44 games this year with back spasms. Tonight he will face the pitcher who was his teammate at Oakland for 5 years, Catfish Hunter. Steve Yeager will do the catching. Don Gullett walked him last night in the 9th inning to set up the Dodgers' tying run. And on the mound, Bert Hooton, a much better pitcher this year than his 12-7 record indicates. He was 3rd in the National League in earned run average behind John Candelaria and a fellow named Seaver. Those are the Dodgers. Keith?
All right, Ross, thank you very much. As the rest of the Dodgers and the coaching staff and the trainers come out onto the field. Now the roar comes up from an already filled Yankee Stadium as the home team is about to be introduced. The Yankees, of course, went to their respective domiciles today, did not spend the day collectively, as did the Dodgers, because they're at home. And Billy Martin, the first man introduced. To document the rest of the Yankees here, a Yankee voice, Bill White.
All right, Pete, we're going to get a look here at Mickey Rivers. Mickey did not have a good night last night. They got him with changeups, and he'll be looking for that pitch tonight. Mickey Rivers leading off and playing center field. You're looking at Willie Randolph, a great night last night for Willie, his first home run in the World Series. He's batting second and playing second. Thurman Munson, the Yankee captain, will bat third. Munson might be the best all-around player in the American League. And this is Reggie Jackson. You always get some kind of reaction when Reggie Jackson's introduced. He'll bat fourth and play right field. The number 5 hitter at first base, Chris Chambliss. Chambliss picked up a run batted in last night. And batting 6th and playing third base for the Yankees, Greg Nettles. Nettles working with a lame shoulder. He's had a lot of work on it. He will not miss this series. Hitting the 7th, Lou Piniella, and that's Lou's you're hearing, not Boo. Lou gets a Lou. Batting 8th and playing shortstop for the Yankees, Bucky Dent.
And batting 9th, the pitcher who was in the bullpen.
Batting 9th and warming up out in the bullpen, Jim Catfish Hunter. Won 9 games and lost 9 so far this year. Catfish has not pitched since September 10th against the Toronto Blue Jays. And here are the rest of the Yankees. And here's Keith Jackson.
All right, Bill, thank you very much. The two teams will stand along the respective baselines. The Dodgers down third and the Yankees down the first baseline as the umpiring crew comes out onto the field now. The color guard tonight holding the colors out in short center field from the Naval Reserve Center at Huntington, Long Island. And now to honor America, here is the national anthem sung by musician first class Evangeline Taylor of the United States Navy.
Join in the singing of our national anthem, which will be led by Navy musician first class Evangeline Taylor.
Yes, tonight.
A young man who's about to have a highlight moment of his young life, a moment he will never forget. Jose Fernandez from the Bronx, 4 years of age, will throw out the ceremonial first pitch tonight to Thurman Munson. He represents the kids who play baseball in this country. And he is not at all frightened of the circumstances. Just give me the ball and I'll get rid of it. Now let's see how the right arm works for 4-year-old Jose Fernandez. What a moment, huh? My, oh, look. Oh, left-hander. All right. So little 4-year-old Jose Hernandez of the Bronx. That's a name that one family will talk about for Lord knows how many years to come. The umpiring alignment tonight: Ed Sudol of the National League will be behind the plate. Larry McCoy of the American League at first. Jerry Dale of the National League at second. Jim Evans of the American League at third. Down the left field line, John McSherry of the National League. And Nestor Shilak of the American League will be down the right field line. Now the Yankees have taken the field. And the Yankee defense will line up this way. Out in left field, it'll be Lou Piniella. And in center field, it'll be the swift Mickey Rivers, who made a great throw from center field, short center field last night to get Steve Garvey at the plate, if you remember. And Reggie Jackson opens in right field tonight with a right-hander going for the Dodgers. He is hitting in the cleanup position. At third base, Greg Nettles, who played last night and will play tonight with a sore shoulder, but he had one great play and a heck of a throw to nail a base runner. At shortstop, Bucky Dent, who came out early today and took about an extra half an hour working at shortstop on handling the ground balls over there. At second base, Willie Randolph, who had the great offensive game last night. Over at first base for the New York Yankees, the steady man, Chris Chambliss. Behind the plate doing the catching will be the captain of the New York Yankees, Thurman Munson. And out on the mound, Catfish Hunter, the veteran right-hander with a record of 4-1 in World Series competition, all of it coming with the Oakland A's. Earlier tonight, Howard Cosell talked with Catfish Hunter about this special night for him.
Jimmy, you're ready for tonight, A, physically, B, mentally and emotionally.
Yes, I am. I think when I get out there, I'm too dumb to get scared. I just go out there and try to throw strikes. If I get beat, I get beat. If I win, I win. There's only, there's no tomorrow, nothing. You just go out there and do the best you can.
Your whole career has been one in which you've always met the big challenge, won the big game. Do you have that inner feeling tonight that this will be a repeat?
Well, I think when a pitcher walks out to the mound, after he throws the first strike, after he gets the first guy or second guy out, he relaxes and then he starts pitching his type of ball game.
And your shoulder is sound?
Well, I haven't thrown in a month hard, but just throwing on the side and everything, it feels good.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Some earlier comments from James Catfish Hunter. The Los Angeles
Leading off
Dodgers
for the
will send
Dodgers.
Davy Lopes, Bill Russell, Reggie Smith, Ron Say hitting cleanup, Steve Garvey, Dusty Baker, Rick Mundy, Steve Yeager batting 8th, and the pitcher Bert Hooton in the 9 position. So Davy Lopes, who was 0 for 5 in the opening game last night, leads off for the Dodgers, and Catfish Hunter's first pitch is in the strike zone.
Keith, you have to watch Hunter in the wake of his difficult season in the early innings. He allowed 29 home runs during the season. They came early, 12 hit in the first inning, and another 7 hit in the second and third combined.
Davy Lopes gives it a ride to straightaway center field, but Mickey Rivers backpedaling, hauls it down, and you've got one out. Lopes hit the ball fairly deep to center field, about 380 feet. Bill Russell, the Dodgers shortstop, 1 for 6 last night. With a triple, it produced a run for Los Angeles. Yankees winning in 12 innings last night by a score of 4-3. On the letters, on the inside corner, strike one. Tom Seaver working with us in this 1977 World Series, watching the work of Catfish Hunter as he delivers low this time. And what have you seen so far, Tom?
Well, you're watching a masterwork. You really are, Keith. This is one of the finest pitchers, and like Howard said in the pregame show, in contemporary baseball. Sliders, 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 and an off-speed slider there. Jimmy will throw you fastballs in off the plate. He tries not to throw that fastball in the strike zone. And he tries to make you hit his slider. Slider is his out pitch, and he tries to get it down and away from you.
2-1 count. And it is now 3-1 to Bill Russell, the Dodgers shortstop, with Reggie Smith on deck. And you'll see Reggie Smith swinging from the left side tonight. Russell hits it to left field for Piniella. Moves there. 2 down.
Strategically, Tom, I think you'll agree this is the right kind of hitting lineup and the rightly dimensioned ballpark to bring the best out of Hunter.
I would believe so, Howard. This is a big ballpark, a left center, of course. Say and Garvey can hit the ball out to right center. They've got good power over there, and the only guy that really should give home run trouble to catfish tonight is the man at the plate right now, Reggie Smith. He can hurt you from the left side. Good power as a left-hand hitter.
He hit 27 of his 32 home runs from the left side this year, and he knocked in 72 of his 87 runs from the left side this year. So he is a much free swinger as a lefty.
He's a much better hitter left-handed. He really is. Much more devastating hitter left-handed.
Hunter going low and away on successive pitches. The count now 2 balls, no strikes with 2 out and nobody on. There's a strike. The fastball, and that one had a little pop in it. Top of the first inning, game number 2. It is now 3-1.
That looks like a strike, but it's not. That comes around the plate. He caught it right behind the plate, but it never got on top of it.
Hard shot, right center. It'll go through the gap to the wall. Reggie Smith around first, going for 2. And he stands at second with a double. So Reggie Smith, as we had suggested to you, a much tougher out from the left side of the plate. Now, Catfish Hunter will pitch to Ron Say, who was hitless in 3 trips last night. He had a sacrifice fly to drive in a run. On the year, the average a bit deceptive. He had 1 long slump, but he did nail 30 home runs. And he was very productive, and he came at the start of the season like a tornado. Smith a big lead off second. Say takes, breaking pitch, strike. You have 2 out in the top of the first inning. Steve Garvey is on deck for the Dodgers. Strike 2.
Well, you've seen a low slider and a high slider. He's getting his pitches tonight. Ed Sudol behind the plate, of course, is a National League umpire. And he's given him, the first pitch was right on the knees, the other pitch by the letters. Say wants to say, you can have one of them, but you can't have both of them.
Fly ball, hit well to left. Piniella going back. It is gone. Home run, Ron Say. Out at 390. Dodgers lead 2-0.
That's what we meant about watching Hunter in the first inning.
Keith, that's really a pitcher's mistake. He's 0-2. He had a low slider for a strike, a high slider for a strike, and now he's way ahead of the hitter. He threw the ball right down the middle of the plate. You cannot let Ronnie Say extend his arms, and that's a long way to hit the ball out there into the bullpen. That's a great shot we got, but
no help from the wind.
He hit that ball a long way. That's no excuse for that being 0-2 and then giving up a home run.
And so the Dodgers tonight, like last night, have scored twice in the top of the first, and Steve Garvey up with a 1-strike count as Hunter comes inside to make it 1-1 to the Dodger first baseman. Reggie waving it out as he scored in front of Ron Say. Reggie Smith. Hunter is outside to Garvey. It's 2-1. There's the man that delivered his second home run in postseason play. The other was a grand slam against the Phillies in the playoffs. Garvey hits it foul to the right, upstairs.
Well, they accused the Dodgers of being down last night. No hustle or no chatter on the bench. They've come out smoking here tonight.
Garvey was 1 for 4 last night. He had a bunt single. Hits it on the ground to Willie Randolph, the second baseman, and throws him out. The Dodgers, a double and a home run, and they take the lead in the top of the first inning, 2-0, with the Yankees coming up in the bottom of the first. The New York Yankee lineup tonight, the batting order, Mickey Rivers leading off, number 2, Willie Randolph, Thurman Munson hitting third, catching. Reggie Jackson will be in the cleanup spot against the right-hander. Chris Chambliss, the first baseman, bats 5th. Greg Nettles 6th. Lou Piniella hits 7. Bucky Dent 8th, and Catfish Hunter, the pitcher, will be hitting in the number 9 position. Before the game tonight, Ross Porter sat down and visited with the Dodger catcher, Steve Yeager. They talked about the kind of stuff that Bert Hooton brings to the plate.
Well, basically, Bert Hooton, as you know, has got the famous pitch as a knuckle curveball. The knuckle curveball is a pitch that he's perfected, and only he alone can really throw it as accurate as he wants to. A knuckle curveball, it either goes down, straight down, it might go a little right, it might go a little left. In other words, it might come into a right-handed hitter and go away from a left-hander. It'll also come in on a left-handed hitter and go away from the right-hander. I think that basically that's his bread and butter pitch, and as long as we don't go overboard with the pitch and still yet be able to throw the fastball and a changeup that he's come along with this year, I think that we can have a successful evening with Bert Hooton.
Some pregame comments of the Dodger catcher Steve Yeager about the young man who's out on the mound pitching for Los Angeles tonight, Bert Hooton. Now, the Dodgers line up defensively with Dusty Baker in left. Rick Mundy will be in center field tonight. He hits left-handed. Reggie Smith in right. Ron Cey at third. Billy Russell at shortstop. Davey Lopes at second. Steve Garvey at first. Yeager catching. And the pitcher is Bert Hooton. Bert Hooton had a disastrous outing in the playoffs at Philadelphia. He openly talks about the fact that he just let himself get out of control, and he didn't last long in that ball game. On the season, the earned run average perhaps indicating that his record might have been a little better than 12-7 had he had a little bit more luck. He will be pitching to here in the bottom of the first inning Mickey Rivers, who was 0 for 6 last night, Willie Randolph, who had a big night, including his first series home run, and then Thurman Munson, who was 2 for 4 last night. So Bert Hooton will be tested right here in the bottom of the first inning. Ron Cey tonight is sitting in on the grass as Mickey Rivers comes up to lead off for the Yankees. At third base, Cey is way in, and Rivers checks and takes. There you see how far in Ron Cey is playing against Rivers. Last night, I made the comment a couple of times how deep he was playing. But tonight, he's right in there where you can howdy him.
Well, that's a complete change in their defensive alignment. Cey was way back there last night, and he's looking right down Mickey's throat here on the first pitch tonight. That first pitch, by the way, was that knuckle curveball. You'll get some good shots of that from center field.
The ball one pitch. Rivers shortens up, starts a move, and the pitch is high.
The position adopted by Cey now is the position essentially adopted by Rose against Rivers a year ago.
It totally intimidated him last year.
It really did. It confused him because he likes to butcher boy the ball over the third baseman's head, and he didn't quite know where to try to do it against Rose.
Ball is high and away, and it is count now of 3-1 to the leadoff man for the Yankees, and Rivers is a problem when he gets on base. Billy Martin will oftentimes let him go. Oh, that fastball got the inside corner, and now you're full at 3-2. So here's the redhead who came to the Dodgers from Chicago at 3-2 to Rivers. High pop to the left side. Cey goes to the railing. He's got some room, and he makes the catch. That is a live picture, and obviously a major fire in a large building in the South Bronx region of New York City. That's a live picture, and obviously the fire department in the Bronx have their problem. My goodness, that's a huge place.
That's the very area where President Carter trod just a few days ago.
With one out now, the batter is Willie Randolph, swinging and missing for strike one. Hate to see that. 274 on the year. Got 4 homers. He hit his 5th last night. Pitch way upstairs. For Randolph, Cey is even with the bag at third. The outfield straight away. Tipped it, and it's a strike. So it's 1-2. Thurman Munson is in the on-deck circle, the Yankee catcher. He's gone. Randolph strikes out.
Keith, I think the Yankees might have some trouble with the knuckleball here, and at least the knuckle curve in the first few innings. It's a different kind of pitch. It's a curveball that can go. It doesn't go the same way all the time. It'll go in. It'll go away from the hitter. You can't really tell which way it's going. Oh, now we got an argument. Look at this. Sudol and Billy Martin down in front of the Yankee dugout. Billy doesn't like that call. Sudol called Randolph out. Doesn't like it, obviously. He didn't waste any time getting out of there, did he?
He came in a hurry. Well, he's just keyed up a tad, I'd say. With 2 out and nobody on for the Yankees in the bottom of the first inning, and the Dodgers leading 2-0 on Ron Say's 2-run home run. Here is Thurman Munson. Two for 4 last night in the opening game of the series. He knocked in a run. And Hooton is high to it. There's a strike, and it's 1-1.
I was saying before, Keith, it may take them a while to get adjusted to this knuckle curveball. It's a different kind of pitch, and I think once they see it, if he goes through the lineup, once Hooton goes through the lineup once every hitter gets a look at it, it'll be a little bit easier. Doesn't look like Hooton wants to show it to him right now.
He's going to
2 outs and there's nobody on. He doesn't want to show him that knuckle curve.
Count is now 1-2. Bert Hooton out of Texas. Foul ball to the left side. Dick Hauser coaching at third for the Yankees, throws it out. Bobby Cox, the coach at first for New York. One and 2 to Munson. Ooh, close. 2-2 now. Bird, a 3-time All-America college player at the University of Texas, and a smile on the face right now of the Dodger skipper Tom Lasorda as he visits with Preston Gomez in the Dodger dugout. Again close, but it's 3-2. Reggie Jackson waiting on deck. Billy Martin looking out from the dugout. He's had some words with Sudol. The pitch is thrown to the hands and fouled away by Thurman Munson. So a new ball goes to the mound. This telecast presented by authority of Major League Baseball, intended solely for the private non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of the game without the express written consent of Major League Baseball is prohibited. Munson strikes out. So Bert Hooton strikes out 2 of the 3 Yankees he faces in the bottom of the first inning, and after 1, the Dodgers lead 2-0.
That's a lot. Out again of that fire in the South Bronx that Keith called to your attention just a few moments ago. Wonder how many alarms are involved, but as Keith said, the fire department really has its work cut out for it.
Here at Yankee Stadium, Dusty Baker, Rick Monday, Steve Yeager. For Los Angeles, top of the second inning, Dodgers leading 2-0. And Jim Hunter hits the corner for strike 1 against Dusty Baker. Dusty last night 1 for 4, 291 on the season. Still playing with a knee brace. That pitch tight inside. Baker, of course, hobbled all last year with a bad knee. Remarkable comeback this year, but he's still got work left to do. Figures by the middle of next year he'll be fully recovered. 1-2 as he swings and misses at a breaking pitch. I'll tell you, if Baker continues his comeback and he adds another 30 points to his batting average in 1978, they may try to declare him unconstitutional or something, because he has been wearing them out this season. Rolls this one to Greg Nettles. Nettles on the money with his throw, and you've got 1 out.
No matter what happens to Jim Hunter in this game, you'll never see him ruffle. This is one of the coolest, most professional performers in all of baseball. Has been for a number of years. Had 5 consecutive better than 20-game victory seasons. Joined such names as Christy Mathis, Waller Johnson, Cy Young. Has one of 4 pitchers to have achieved 200 career victories before reaching the age of 31. That's how good he has been.
And his pitch to Rick Monday, the Dodgers center fielder. Ball 1. Rick Monday has had an interesting career for a lot of reasons. Hunter is high and tight again to it. Tom Lasorda of the Los Angeles Dodgers is Monday's 11th manager. in 12 seasons.
I would have to say he played for the Athletics. He had to play for Charlie Finley, didn't he?
That's right, he did. He visited with Haywood Sullivan, Alvin Dark, Luke Appling, Bob Kennedy, Hank Bauer, John McNamara, and Dick Williams while with the A's. It's kind of a high y'all in there.
I wonder if he knows all of them.
2-1 pitch to Rick. And it's low and outside. It's 3-1. Despite the fact that he's been hurting with a bad back a good portion of the season, he still has been a positive factor defensively in center field for Los Angeles. Pulls it to the right side. Chambliss overgloves it. Hunter to cover at first. They get it. The work of a first baseman as he realized he had to go far to his left. Now, once Chambliss goes to the ball, he's entirely depending on the pitcher to come across to make the play, and Hunter was there in plenty of time.
And that leads to the point. Last night, Tom Seaver emphasized what a superb all-around athlete Gullett is. Fielding his position. They don't make them better than Jim Hunter.
He's outstanding, very good. He and Gullett are two fine fielding pitchers. They become the 9th fielder on the field after they let the ball go.
Steve Yeager, the Dodger catcher. Low. Yeager hitless last night in 3 trips. In batting practice today, knocked 2 over the left center field fence at about 395 feet. One of them perhaps over 400. He really totaled one. 2 balls and no strikes. Those don't count, do they?
Those are 5 o'clock hitters.
Preston Gomez coaching at third. Jim Gilliam coaching at first for the Dodgers. There's a strike. A call from Ed Sudol of the National League behind the plate. 2-1. 2 out for the Dodgers and nobody on. Piniella deep in left. And toward the line, respecting the power of Steve Yeager. Foul. Yankee dugout. Yogi Berra talking with Billy Martin. Yeager fouls it to the right side. Yankees last night in winning this opening game won their 100th World Series contest. 100.
Sitting there just thinking, I was looking at Mickey Rivers in center field, thinking about the days that DiMaggio played out there, Mickey Mantle played out there. You know, just the history of this ballpark, the playing field, and the great players that have been on it.
2-2 to Yeager. Foul.
You were lucky, Howard, to grow up in New York City. See the Yankees, the great teams they had, the great players, the great rivalry between the Dodgers and the Yankees.
I saw Greenberg and Gehrig play high school ball. Greenberg at James Monroe, Gehrig at Commerce.
Is that 1908 you saw that, or what? What year?
Yeager hits it high, hits it deep to left. Piniella goes to the wall. He jumps. Home run, Yeager. Piniella coming down hard, shaken. Dodgers lead 3-0.
This is not an easy thing for a man like Jim Hunter, who has been so great, who's made his place in baseball history as Billy Martin runs out to talk. No, he's running out to see the condition of Roy White. Lou Piniella, correction. But for Jim Hunter, who has been so very great, to have gone through the kind of year he's gone through, the ailing shoulder, then a mysterious ailment that at first was diagnosed as a hernia, proved to be something else. Time doesn't permit, nor with good taste, detailing the complications of his medical case. But now finally coming back to health, having not pitched since September 10th. A very difficult situation for him. As they check Piniella's health out there.
Looked like Lou might have banged his head or neck.
That's what the trainer is working on, both of them, Keith.
That's padded, isn't it?
batter, but he may have been up on the top of the fence. You can see him because he gave a good effort on the ball.
Look at this again. Another pitching mistake, Tom would call it, right down the alley.
That's right in the wheelhouse.
Get it up. Yep.
That's Yeager is a big, strong man. You throw the ball right in his wheelhouse, he'll hit it out. He'll hit it 387
now let's look
feet.
at Piniella here.
Piniella. He jammed himself into the wall.
Well, he gave it all he had.
Looks like going back there was something hanging over their edge, but he didn't hit that. He just sort of jammed himself against the wall and hurt his neck and shoulder. But he stays. He's durable. So Lou Piniella shakes it off and remains in left field as Yeager hits the home run to give the Los Angeles Dodgers a 3-0 lead, and the ball was well back into the seats. Now here is Bert Hooton facing Jim Hunter, taking a strike. And Tom Seaver can define the hitting abilities of Mr. Bert Hooton.
Yes.
That last, remember that last pitch that he just threw to Steve Yeager? I threw one to Bert Hooton like that in Chicago one day.
Grand slam.
It was a grand slam home run, Howard. What a memory.
Pulls it sharply, Nettles gloves it and loops it and gets it. So a nice play by Greg Nettles going to his right at third to retire the sign. But the Dodgers get a run on Yeager's home run and lead the Yankees 3-0. Have a look at the fine play by Greg Nettles as he breaks all the way almost to the line to backhand the hard shot off the bat of Bert Hooton. Comes up throwing, and he shows. Now for the Yankees in the bottom of the second inning, it'll be Reggie Jackson, Chris Chambliss, and Greg Nettles. 3 tough left-handed free swingers in a row. Reggie Jackson, since he was put into the cleanup spot by manager Billy Martin, came alive and finished very strong. Takes ball 1.
That, of course, was one of the points of difference between Martin and Jackson throughout the first half of the season and more.
There's a strike. Lou Piniella in the dugout appears now to be all right after jamming into the wall, chasing the home run by Yeager. Jackson fouls it away, and it's 1-2.
The Yankees started the season, many of you will remember, with a lineup drawn out of a hat after they had slumped in the early going to a 2-8 record.
2-2 now to Reggie.
So at that point, it wasn't a matter of pride and self-respect to Reggie, really, where he batted. But it is overall, and he wanted to bat fourth from the beginning of the season on.
It is now 3-2. Reggie Jackson. Defensively, the Dodgers shifted well to the right. Bill Russell is almost back behind second base. Jackson hits it high in the air to the left side. There will be no play there for Ron Cey as he goes in for a look and in the crowd. Tom, I suspect there's something to it. You can read all the scout reports in the world, but you don't really have a feel about a ball club until you square off against them, do you?
Well, you don't have a feel for a club, and you don't have a feel for individuals. And I know the scouting report, I'm just sitting here watching how Hooton is pitching to Jackson. They're throwing all hard stuff up and in. He doesn't want to get that big barrel of the bat out on the ball right in there.
Reggie knew it. That's the third straight strikeout for Bert Hooton. Let's look at this one again, Tom.
Reggie may have been looking for the knuckle curve. You never know. From up here, you never know. Hooton makes another good pitch. He's made some fine pitches here. Fastball right on the letters on the inside corner. Inside. That's exactly where you have to pitch Reggie.
Now it is Chris Chambliss, who was 1 for 5 last night with a run batted in. And he's high with the first pitch. The Dodgers getting 2 runs in the first inning on a double by Reggie Smith and a home run by Ron Cey. That's a strike. And the count is 1-1 to Chambliss. In the bottom of the first inning, the Yankees retired in order. In the top of the second, Steve Yeager a home run for a 3-0 Dodger lead, and Chambliss fouls it away. Bert Hooton has been most impressive. Of the 4 Yankees that he has faced up to Chambliss, he got Rivers to foul out to the third baseman. He struck out Randolph looking, Munson swinging, and Jackson looking, and now he has a strike of 1-2 on Chambliss.
of a hot pitcher. And the Yankee batters looking like they don't know quite what they're looking for or at.
4 strikeouts, and the last 2 have been fastballs, too. I think they've got to be sitting on that knuckle curve. They just haven't seen it. They don't know what it looks like, and they want to get a good look at it, and they're just guessing wrong. It's a knuckle curve right there. That's what it looks like.
Makes me wonder about your gift of prophecy, considering the fact that you ventured the suggestion that it's outside ball. Tommy John should have been the starting pitcher, although it's early in the game, Tom.
I was right on top of that one, wasn't I?
Swing and a miss by Nettles. It is 2 balls and 1 strike. This program, an exclusive presentation of ABC Sports. Let's pause 5 seconds to allow our local stations to identify themselves.
Eyewitness News following the game here on Channel 7 New York.
Foul back by Nettles to make the count 2-2. The most consecutive strikeouts in a World Series game, 6.
News item, Keith. I've just had word that that fire we've shown in the South Bronx, first to pitch, fouled off. That fire in the South Bronx, fortunately, no lives in danger. It's an abandoned apartment building, and the problem is to get the fire out, prevent it from spreading, of course, but at least no lives in danger.
It's good news. 2-2 for the Yankee third baseman. Sharply hit. Lopes flags it, and the Yankees are gone. Bert Hooton has retired 6 in order. And after 2 complete innings of play, the Dodgers lead 3-0. It's 2 of them home runs, the other a double. They lead 3-0. We go to the top of the 3rd inning, the top of the Dodger batting order as you look down on Yankee Stadium, a gleaming in the Bronx. On a very cool evening, but still quite pleasant. Comfortable for the pitcher. And Jim Hunter comes to Lopes for a strike. Lopes hit the ball well, his first time up to center field.
Let's see if Hunter can settle down. Called second strike. Hunter was rocked early last year in World Series Game 2 on a Sunday night. It was cold in Cincinnati. The Reds burst to a 3-0 lead, getting 3 in the second. Then the Catfish settled down.
Continues 2 strikes.
He did lose that game 4-3 in the bottom of the 9th, but overall it was a good pitching effort.
Over the pitcher's head, Randolph in a hurry. Lopes can fly, throws, gets him.
Good play by Randolph. Lopes could get down that line as good as anybody from the right side.
Watch the speed of Lopes. He's out of the box and gone, just as Tom said, as quickly as anybody.
Randolph makes a good play in here. Gets a big hop, comes up. Good throw, half a step.
Batter now, Bill Russell. Fly ball to left field. First time up. Hits this one. That'll be trapped by Piniella. And Russell is aboard with a single.
Good play by Piniella. Good act by Piniella.
Yeah, he came up begging right there.
Right.
Sometimes you get him. You never know.
Right.
A little theatrics will help in the outfield once in a while.
So Bill Russell's on at first base with 1 out. Reggie Smith, who doubled and scored ahead of Say's home run, now at the plate. 3 for 16, as you see, in the National League Championship Series. But from the left side, don't get careless. He'll lose it. Ball 1. Nettles short at third. Defensively for the Yankees, they give him left center. That's where the gap is. Dick Tidrow in the bullpen for the Yankees. Swing and a miss. It's 1-1.
You know, Catfish did give 29 home runs up this year, but 19 of them came with nobody on base. And I guarantee out of that 19, in a lot of the games, he was probably ahead by a good margin. He's not a fellow that's going to go out there and walk a lot of people.
Smith fouls it away, and it's 1-2.
If he gets a lead, he's going to throw the ball in the middle of the plate. He is a control pitcher. He's got to have his control to be effective. And he's not going to deliberately throw the ball down the middle of the plate now, but there'll be situations if he does get a big lead, if he's up by 5-1 or 7-2, he's going to throw it down the middle of the plate and let you hit it out of the park.
Or try.
That's his method. Let you try is exactly what he wants you to do.
There's Dick Tidrow in the bullpen for the New York Yankees. Tidrow 11-4. He was a very stout figure. The Yankee fortunes of '77. High fly ball hit deep to right center field. Way back. Gone.
That was a monster.
It really was. And so Billy Martin will have no choice now.
Sort of applauding. Catfish Hunter shocked by Reggie Smith as he hits the ball at least 420 feet.
And here comes Martin.
Deep right center field seats the third home run of the ball game for the Los Angeles Dodgers. They lead 5-0, and Billy's at the mound.
Well, there's a real strong left-hand hitter right there. He got the ball down, boom, got right underneath the ball. Reggie knew it was gone, too, and Mickey Rivers knew it was gone. That's a long way out there. Reggie's played here, of course, in the American League. That's a long way to hit a baseball. 3 home runs in 3 innings, 5-0 already. Billy's in trouble. The Yankees have got to really pull it.
The new pitcher for the New York Yankees, right-hander Dick Tidrow, out of Kansas City, Missouri, is home now. Tidrow in his second World Series. Finished the 1977 season with an 11-4 record. He appeared in 49 ball games. He saved 5. He pitched twice in the American League Championship Series, 6 2/3 innings. In game number 1, allowed 5 hits and 3 runs. In game number 4, he pitched a third of an inning. He allowed 1 hit and he walked 1. Dick Tidrow, the middleman or the long relief man for the New York Yankees.
Billy Martin has been rolling 7s as the Yankee manager, no question about it. He managed a perfect game in the final effort against Kansas City that brought the American League pennant. He managed brilliantly last night. Paul Blair came through for him after he benched Reggie in right field for Blair's defensive abilities, and Blair for the second time in a row came through offensively. So tonight, when he started Jim Catfish Hunter, there was a half expectation that the dice would continue to go for him. They didn't. A sad thing to see what happened to Jim Hunter tonight in view of all of his years of greatness, and the hope has to be, because he is still certainly young enough, that he will come back to that form next year. But in the meantime, the Dodgers have amassed a huge lead. And I might say, we told it like it was, or at least suggested it before it ever was, when we advised you to watch what happened to Hunter in the early innings.
So Jim Hunter is out of the ball game. Dick Tidrow is in to pitch to Ron Cey, the Dodger third baseman who hit a home run for 2 runs in the top of the first inning. All the home runs were hit off Jim Hunter on 2-strike counts, 2, I might add. 5-0 Los Angeles. That is outside. It's 1-1. On Saturday at 12:30 Eastern Time, college football. Texas and Arkansas, a pair of undefeated teams. The Longhorns beat Oklahoma last Saturday. Arkansas rested, both of them undefeated. It's another one of those old-fashioned country hoedowns in Fayetteville. And Texas better not come in feeling too comfortable about their posture, because the Razorbacks are coming back. That'll be at 12:30 Eastern Time. 2-1 now to Ron Cey. And Roddy hits it high in the air to the right side. Thurman Munson almost lost it, ran it down. Almost got a crick in his neck waiting for that one to come down, too, didn't he?
I'm not sure where it was coming.
The Dodgers 5 runs on 5 hits, and Steve Garvey is at the plate. Garvey grounded out to the second baseman, his first trip tonight. Two out. The 2 pitchers so far in the ball game. All all zeros unless you concern yourself with innings and strikeouts for Hooten. For Hunter, he's gone.
What the Yankees need now, Keith, is for Hidro to come in here and do the same kind of job that Mike Torres did in the last game in Kansas City. He's got to hold the Dodgers. Give Billy Martin and other players time to do something. Hold them right there at 5 runs. Let them pick away. Get 2 runs, 1 inning. Get a run here, get a run there. Let him get close. Torres did a great job Sunday against the Royals. After the Royals had jumped out to a lead and held him close. That's what kind of job he's got to do here against the Dodgers.
He's now 2-2 with Steve Garvey. The temperature in the middle 50s at this time. That's a comparable temperature, I guess, for everybody. Certainly for a pitcher. Inside.
It is nice for everybody. It's good pitching weather, and it's not bad to hit either. You get down in the 40s, that bat gets a little bit cold. Now, wait a minute. Who's that? Is that my pass to the game tonight? I left that guy tickets. Look at that.
Broken bat roller up the middle. Bucky Dent coming across, bounces it over to Chris Chambliss. Not in time. Garvey legs it out. Base hit number 6 for the Dodgers. Dent had a long way to go, as you can see, cut across in front of Willie Randolph. But by the time he was in position to throw, Garvey was on the bag, and Bucky could get nothing on the throw to the first baseman. And so Steve is on with Dusty Baker at the plate. Baker out 3rd to 1st, first time tonight. Dodgers batting in the top of the 3rd inning and leading 5-0. Garvey going. Baker swings and misses. Munson's throw. He's out of there. So Steve Garvey takes off on the first pitch. And though Thurman Munson is not a purist, perhaps, behind the plate, he gets the job done. Garvey thrown out, and the Dodgers lead after 2.5, 5-0. Tom Seaver, Thurman Munson may not come over the top on that throw to second base in the old classic style, but he nailed it right where it needed to be, didn't he?
Well, he's not the most accurate thrower for a catcher. The thing he does have going for him, Keith, is quick release. He gets rid of the ball as quickly as anybody. He takes one step out of there. He steps with his left foot, throws almost 3/4, and the ball will sail down to second base. Sometimes his accuracy is off, but he gets the ball there as quickly as any catcher in the game of baseball.
Lou Piniella punches the first pitch to right, and he breaks the string of Bert Hooten. So Bert Hooten had retired the first 6 Yankees to face him, and finally Piniella breaks through and singles to right.
That comes after Lou made a vain leap for a home run by Yeager and knocked his head and neck up in the process. So Lou's got a lot of fight and vigor in him.
Here's Bucky Dent now, the Yankee shortstop, 2 for 5 last night in the opening game of the '77 World Series, and Hooten is low, and there was your knuckle curve. It seemed to break down sharply. Piniella on first, leading off for the Yankees in the bottom of the 3rd inning, and Dent takes a strike. 1-1, and they give Dent left center. That's the gap in the defense the Dodgers set up, with Rick Monday playing just straight up the middle in center. Strike 2. The Dodgers with 3 home runs. The Yankees getting their first hit, a single to right by Piniella. Dent strikes out. Snap throw to first, not in time. Bert Hooten now has struck out 5 Yankees.
He's really throwing well tonight, Keith. Got a good knuckle curveball, and the other guys that he's striking out, they're sitting on the curveball. Throwing a fastball right by him. The base hit was a check swing to right field still.
That's true, but I go back to what you said earlier on. This is the first time around. We'll have to see what the Yankees do against him as they get more accustomed to his pace.
Dick Tidrow swings and misses.
I caught that one, Howard.
You did, huh?
Yes, I got that one.
Of course.
One out, one on for the Yankees in the bottom of the third. Piniella at first. Tidrow squares, takes the pitch outside. 1-1.
Billy wants a run. He's got to get a run in. Louis Martin knows that he's 5 runs down, and he's got to get close. If he can get within 2 runs or 1 run, if he can get it back to 5-3, if he can get it back to 5-4, then he can play hit and run. He can use his speed. Mickey Rivers does get on. He can start running his ball players and start making things happen. But when he's down 5-0, he's kind of sitting back praying for a run or hoping that maybe that Thurman or Reggie will knock one out for him and get him closer.
While the Yankees won last night, they did it without even a hit from Rivers, which is unusual.
Tidrow squares to bunt, and the ball is fouled off Steve Yeager, and Yeager is down. Really jarred. The ball ricocheted off Steve Yeager, the Dodger catcher.
Certainly doesn't want to come out of the game. He'll get himself ready. He'll be right back in there. There's my old Texas buddy, Jerry Grody, my catcher for 10 years when I was pitching for the New York Mets.
I'll tell you, we really found out what Steve Yeager was made of when Dave Parker of the Pittsburgh Pirates ran over him during the regular season. And Parker, a 4'6", 40 man at 230 pounds, and he just totaled Yeager, but Steve held onto the ball, got his man, stood up, and then collapsed. It was a memorable collision, so he will stay after being bitten by the foul ball. 2-2. On the batter, Tidrow with 1 out and Lou Piniella on first base. Say comes creeping in at third. Tidrow takes strike, and he's gone. So he looks at strike number 3.
That's 6 strikeouts with 2 men down in the bottom of the third for Bert Hooten. The second look at Hooten for Mickey Rivers. Let's see if Mickey can get on track. As always, he's the key to the Yankee ball club under average circumstances.
Fouled out to the third baseman, Say, his first time at the plate. Hooten comes inside, and Say defensively again is on the grass at third base. One and one as Mickey swings and misses. The Jugs gun clocks Bert Hooten's fastball at 88 miles an hour.
Not as fast as last night's pitchers, but nonetheless fast for Bert Hooten.
Fast for Bert Hooten, and when you combine it with a knuckle curveball that he's going tonight, he's going to be darn tough.
The count is 1-2 to Mickey Rivers with 2 out. Lou Piniella on first. That one bounces. And again, ricochets off Steve Yeager, but he took that one on the chest protector.
I went down for the game. I was yakking with Bert in the Dodger dugout, asking him about his knuckle curveball. He says he'll throw it 30 to 50% of the time, depending on the ball game. And I think you'll see it a little bit more now. He did try not to throw it too much, I don't think, on that first go-through through the Yankee lineup. But now I think situations he's going to cut that curveball on him.
And it's fouled away. Of 2-2. Piniella was running with 2 out.
Billy's trying to make something going, Keith. You see that? Yep. 2-2, 5 runs down. He wants to get something going here.
Shot at Davy Lopes. Traps it, flips it, and the inning is over. The Yankees get their first base hit. They cannot move the man around. After 3 complete innings of play, Dodgers lead 5-0.
I don't know whether that fire in the South Bronx has subsided or has been mitigated, but still remains in diversified areas of that abandoned apartment building. But we emphasize as a news matter that which we stated earlier. No lives endangered. It was an abandoned apartment building. That's Steve Yeager. Hurt tonight, home run tonight. Catcher who wears specs. Once they didn't think major leaguers could play with glasses, but in the 1920s, a fellow named Specs DePorcer and a pitcher named Lee Meadows changed the whole scheme of things. After that, glasses were acceptable for major league ball players.
Dusty Baker is at the plate, Rick Mundy on deck, and Steve Yeager to follow. For the Dodgers, on the mound, it is Dick Tidrow. Ball 1.
This is an ideal lineup for Tidrow to face, too. Sweeping right-handed pitcher.
2-0 as the pitch is low and away.
Dodgers a team of right-handed power, essentially. Richie Smith, the big left-hand threat.
Foul ball, left side. Rick Mundy in the lineup, the other left-handed swinger tonight, but Rick has not hit the long ball with any degree of consistency in 1977. Primarily because he's played a good deal of the year in pain. That comes apart. It's a high fly ball in the short center. Rivers comes in a hurry. Wow. Without the speed of Rivers, it dropped.
Oh, he came a long way for that ball.
He did, and it was one of those I want to be traded catches by Mickey. He kept looking at Bucky Dent. He was hesitating himself. Finally got there just in time to make the catch.
There's a lot of people in this park, Howard. And a lot of times the verbal communication on the field is non-existent. And he dropped his head. He had to look down to see where Denton was coming out in the outfield. He came a long way for that ball.
Rick Mundy at .230 this season, obviously not indicative of his major league career. And the pitch from Tidrow is a fastball outside to Mundy here in the top of the 4th inning. And the Dodgers on top by a score of 5-0.
You've already mentioned Rick's back problem. A difficult year for him.
There's a strike. It's kind of funny to walk in the clubhouse and see him hanging upside down. But he's done a lot of that because it is a manner of effecting relief. Popped high in the air, left side. It'll come out of play. There's the bat of Dusty Baker that came apart on the fly ball to short center field.
And it was the point of a bat broken just like that ran into Yeager's neck.
At San Diego last year. Frightening moment. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Mundy. Up the middle it goes, base hit. So Mundy reaches Tidrow for a single up the middle with 1 out. The batter is Yeager. Yeager with a home run. His first time up tonight. He's had his most productive year in the major leagues with 16 home runs in the regular season and 55 runs batted in.
The Dodgers' quick start tonight, of course, from their point of view, the best possible thing that could have happened to them. They needed a lift after last night's devastating loss.
Tomorrow is an off day. Play resumes on Friday. The pitch to Yeager, swing and a miss at a good pitch. Snapping down and over the plate. Tidrow throwing hard. The pitchers on Friday night. 8 o'clock Eastern time. Tommy John for the Dodgers. Ron Guidry for the Yankees. Yeager check swing down the right field line. Fair ball. Mundy turns second, heads for third. Yeager holds at first, and a check swing single down the right field line sends Mundy around the scoring position. Yeager is 2 for 2.
Hit just far enough, Tom. Had Chris not been holding the bag against the runner, had he been in normal position, he of course would have had it.
Had a shot at it, yeah.
And the Dodgers peck away now at Dick Tidrow with 1 out. Hooten, the pitcher, comes to the plate. He looks, as he comes to the plate, for a long time at Preston Gomez, the third base coach. There it is in plain, simple, printed ink.
Thanks, guys.
It's nice to be reminded.
Thank you. It didn't go out of the park. It stayed with the bleacher bums in left field.
You were young in '72. You could throw hard then.
Now I'm 77. I'm old like that.
What'd you throw, Hoop?
Same pitch that Yeager hit 300 or 400 feet.
They've got Mundy hung up. And he's out. Throw back to second. They had Yeager at second, except the ball skidded away from Willie Randolph.
I was just about to say, he'll probably bunt here, but it won't be a squeeze. He'll just try to get the other runner down to second base. Uh-oh, Rick comes in and says, oh, I can't go that way. I'll go back this way. No, I can't go that way either. Good rundown, good fundamentals there by the Yankees.
That's right.
Very good rundown.
They did. And now look at second.
Yes, sir. Boy.
And the quick throw by Munson. And, well, maybe they had him, maybe they didn't. Didn't matter. The ball got away. But reverting back to the prior picture, Tom, do you see how beautifully placed Tidrow was on the rundown?
Excellent.
We
Good
didn't
rundown
see
play.
that last night when Baker got back safely against Chambliss.
So you've got 2 out now, and Yeager at second base for Hooton, the pitcher, and it's 1-1. I don't know if there could possibly have been any faulty communication, because Preston Gomez walked over and spoke personally with Rick Monday.
Bird just missed the ball, that's all.
That's right. Foul.
Stop shaking, Tom. It was below you.
I'm hiding behind my monitor.
Yeah, it's been a long day.
Hi. Hi.
1-2 to Hooton. Fouled away. Dodgers 2 in the first on Say's 2-run homer following Reggie Smith's double. Yeager a home run in the second. And then Reggie Smith, a monstrous 420-footer to right center field in the third for 2 runs, and the Dodgers lead 5-0 on 8 hits. The Yankees have 1 hit, a check swing single to right field by Lou Piniella in the bottom of the 3rd inning.
The check swing may become the major offensive weapon before we're done with this World Series. Reggie Jackson had 1 yesterday. We've had 2 tonight. Master of the check swing, the best I ever saw at that, was Hot Rod Cannell of the original Mets, Tom. You never knew him.
Before my time. I was still in school at that time.
1-2. Just outside. I know him well.
He's the starter at the Bel Air Golf Club. Yeah.
Right. You can see Rick Monday accepting ministration to his left ankle, it looks like, in the Dodger dugout. Might have twisted as he stopped suddenly and getting caught in the rundown.
Hooton's fouled off about, what, 6 balls now? He's throwing about 10 pitches to him. Guys in the dugout will say, hit it between the lines. Come on.
The count is 2-2 with 2 out and Steve Yeager at second base. In the top of the 4th inning. Tidrow comes down off the mound and said, where was it? Ed Sudol said it was low. It's 3-2.
That ball's low. He's really making him work. He doesn't, you know, Tidrow doesn't want to waste all those pitches against the pitcher, especially.
Finally got it. The inning is over. Dodgers threaten. Yankees hold them for the first time. Willie Randolph leads it off for the New York Yankees at the bottom of the 4th inning with Thurman Munson and Reggie Jackson, the next scheduled hitters. Randolph struck out looking first time against Bert Hooton, takes that pitch high. Crowd now becoming a little noisier as we go to the bottom of the 4th. Ball is hit in the hole. Russell, long throw, will not try.
Very wise decision on Russell's part. Willie Randolph is a speedster. He couldn't show his speed much of the first half of the season. He had been recovering from knee surgery, and he was a little tender about it. And the feeling was he should be batted lower in the lines. Martin finally came around to that feeling himself, but now Randolph is no longer protecting the leg, and so he's batting right back where he belongs in the second slot.
Second base hit of the night off Bert Hooton for the Yankees, and the second inning in a row in which New York has had the leadoff man on. Thurman Munson. It gets a lot tougher with people on base. Hooten struck him out the first time tonight. Strike, snap throw, first base, close, but safe.
Beautiful throw to first. On an alert Randolph with a fine slide.
Willie, you're 5 runs down. Don't get picked off. Don't get picked off when you're 5 runs down. That's another one of the cardinal rules of the game.
When you saw it in replay, a little bit closer than it looked in actuality.
1 strike pitch to Munson. Low, ball 1. 1-1.
Yankees got to do something. They got to get something going here. They got the first man on, nobody out. They're running Munson, Jackson, and Chambliss up there with a base runner on already. They've got to get some runs and get them right here.
Well, they're facing Houghton second time around. For the first time, they've gotten their first runner. Well, a second time. Pinella led off with a single. And now they've got the meat of their order up.
Building. The pitch to Munson. Hit on the ground into center field for a base hit. Randolph turns second. He'll go to third. And so the Yankees come up with back-to-back singles in the bottom of the 4th inning. Their first threat of the night.
These two clubs all year long showed the ability to be combative, to battle back. That's the scoreboard. And the crowd begins to chant out in right field. Reggie, it started the opening game of the season.
Reggie delivered 110 runs during the regular season. 125 hitter in the championship series. 1 for 2 last night in the World Series. And a strike to the inside corner.
Good tough pitch. Kept it down.
Reggie used to be a good low ball hitter too. He might want that pitch back.
Sharp to first base. Fair ball over to second one. Back to first. They've got a double play. Willie Randolph canters home from third for the first one of the night for New York. 3-6-3 double play, giving the run as Randolph scored from third, and it's now 5-1.
That takes a lot of wind out of people's sails right there, Keith. That was a fine defensive play by Garvey.
It was. Reggie hit that ball.
He hit that ball hard. That ball goes all the way to the corner. It might score 2 runs. Certainly it was going to score 1. Reggie get a double out of it.
Chambliss hits it sharply at Russell. Bill throws him out. And the inning is over. But New York gets on the scoreboard. After 4 complete innings of play now, it's 5-1 Dodgers. The Squire of Thousand Oaks. That's what's happened in the ball game to this point. You see the Dodgers' 3rd inning. That home run by Reggie Smith was a tape measure job. In the 4th, the Yankees finally get on the board. What might have been situation as Jackson's ball was pulled down. There's Sparky.
Hey, Spark. I was over talking to Sparky this morning, have a cup of coffee, talking about what the Dodgers had to do today. He felt the Dodgers had to go right after him. Start swinging the bat and do a little running on the bases.
Here's a man that can do both. Davy Lopes shortened up and woke up Greg Nettles at third base as Greg came charging in on the grass, and Lopes pulled it away and took it, or else he missed it for strike 1. Looked like he pulled it away. Hitless in 2 trips tonight. Russell and Reggie Smith to follow. It's a little low outside, and it's 1-1 to Davy Lopes, and he wants a new baseball. Ed Sudol having a look. Oh, says all right. Want to talk about the gopher balls or the hot balls of the ricochet balls and whatever it is you pitchers have decided to call them in 1977, Tom? Is it a hot ball?
A rocket ball. Rabbit ball. I even hit 3 home runs, Keith. They've juiced the ball up a little bit. In my locker in Shea Stadium, I used to take a ball apart every year, put it down, date it, put it in the bottom of my locker. From the time that I started in 1967. Bucky Dent. A little hot coffee. And the center of the ball used to be cushioned cork, and I took it apart. It looked like cushioned rubber in there.
Lopes hits it high in the air. Rivers going back, and he'll have room for this one, though. And for the second time tonight, Davy Lopes flies deep to center to Mickey Rivers. 1 out.
The ball's definitely livelier, Keith. There's no question about it. But both teams have to play with it. Both pitchers have to throw it. It's not that just one side throws it. The home run production in the major leagues has gone up this year.
Billy Russell from Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. There was another major leaguer that lived in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. Pretty fair left-hander. Jim Brewer.
Yes, sir. Pretty fair screwball he had, too.
Tidrow gets a corner on Russell for strike 1. Foul ball, strike 2. The Dodgers leading 5-1 on 8 hits. The Yankees have 3 hits off Bert Hooton. Dick Tidrow on the mound came on in the 3rd inning after Jim Hunter traveled 2 1/3, gave 5 earned runs on 5 hits. Pulled to the hole, Nettles cuts it off. Greg throws and gets him. 2 down.
Tidrow's doing a good job. Came in here, they're 5 runs down. It's 5-1 now. He's done a good job in holding the Dodgers. That's what he's got to do. Again, I reiterate, he's got to hold them close and let Billy think of something.
Another ABC News special tomorrow. We'll be bringing you live the President's News Conference, 10:30 a.m. Eastern, 9:30 Central, 7:30 Pacific.
First time Reggie Smith has faced Dick Tidrow. He fouls it away. Strike 1. Smith has hit a double and hit a home run. And he's 2 for 2 and scored twice. Pulls it on the ground to Chambliss. Gravy bounce for Chris. He'll make the play himself. Tidrow gets him in order. So after 4.5 innings of play in game number 2 of the 1977 World Series, it's 5-1 Dodgers. And now a message on behalf of Double Say Homer. 2-0 Dodgers. Dodger second, Yeager solo homer. 3-0 Dodgers. In the 3rd inning, the Dodgers, Billy Russell single. Reggie Smith hit a tape measure shot to right center. 5-0 Dodgers. In the Yankees 4th, Randolph single, Munson single. Jackson hit into a double play, but Randolph scored from 3rd, and that's where we are at 5-1 with Bert Hooton right now working on a 3-hitter.
Looking. That's Kenny Clay, a youngster brought up in near mid-season. Shown very well in his initial outing against the Boston Red Sox, and then was sidetracked for a long while in the manner perhaps of Kenny Holtzman, not quite to the same degree. But when in the International League, considered by many to have as much or more promise as young Ossie, who did such a good job for the Boston Red Sox. In the meantime, going back to the last inning, as you recap the scoring, Keith, when you look at Reggie Jackson's sharp grounder in your mind, in retrospect, had first base bag not been held by the Dodger first baseman against the then Yankee runner, that ball could have gone into the right field corner and delivered 2 runs for the Yankees. But as they say, baseball is a game of inches and of circumstance. And luck is the residue of design, according to Mr. Branch Rickey.
Branch Rickey.
Greg Nettles, Lou Piniella, Bucky Dent, the scheduled hitters for New York. Then we'll see about the pitcher as Nettles hits it up the middle. Base hit number 4 for New York. And the first of the night for Nettles.
They're starting to get a look at it, Pete. The guys are starting to hit the ball hard here. Reggie hit the ball very hard. Chambliss hit the ball hard when he made the last out of the 4th inning. A couple of base hits that were really seen eye dogs by Randolph and Munson, but they still base hits.
And here's the man who had the first hit of the night, Lou Piniella, as he checked on it and dropped it into short right field. Nettles now 1 for 9 in his last 9 trips to the plate. He has been rather quiet. Now it is Piniella to face Hooten. Swings late and misses.
That was a rusty gate.
What's the expression on Pinella's face after this ball goes? This is really a good curveball. And then watch Pinella's face. Ooh, he says that's a good curveball.
On the ground to Russell, to Lopes for 1. That's all. The force at second on Nettles. Piniella aboard on a fielder's choice. Ron Say almost had a reach on it. Might have been able to affect it quicker and possibly produce the double play. He quit on it. Make sure to get one. Russell took it. It is Bucky Dent at the plate.
Action in the Yankee bullpen. We're looking at the potential of a pinch hitter if Bucky can do something.
Lance Rotson is now up in the Dodger bullpen, along with Elias Sosa. Hooten delivers to Dent. He fouls it off for strike 1. There's the Dodger pen. Robson is the left-hander. Sosa the right-hander. Both pitched last night. Sosa was effective. Robson was not. Tidrow is in the on-deck circle swinging a bat for the Yankees. But we'll see. 1 out and 1 on. Dent swings and misses, and he chased the knuckler that time. And it's not a knuckler in a sense that a knuckler dances, butterflies to the plate, whatever you want to call them, like a Charlie Huff would bring up there. But it broke sharply at that time. And it's a 2-strike count. Yeager threatens a throw to first and holds on to it. It's 1-2. There's Tidrow on deck. Hit to the right side for a base hit. Reggie Smith plays it in, and Piniella holds at second base. So Dent moves him along. And now Tidrow is called away.
Dent went to right field with that ball very well. And this is exactly what Billy wants. Nice to get the base hit from the 8th man in the lineup. That really helps him out.
That is George Zeber, a switch hitter on deck. Zeber, an infielder, left-handed, hit .275 in 40 trips to the plate as a left-handed batter. He's a youngster.
You look at some stats, looking in the record book there. The Bird had 31 starts this year. Only had 6 complete games, so you're not going to look for him to go 9 innings tonight, and he's in trouble here. Trouble here in the bottom of the 5th inning.
I guess we'll get Kenny Clay, that youngster you just saw in the bullpen, the only man working out. In the meantime, young Zeber surprised a lot of people with his hitting during the course of the year. Hooten may be a problem for him. He'll be looking at him for the first time. Clearly, Tom Seaver was right when he suggested first time around that as the Yankees got accustomed to Hooten, they would begin to hit him, because they're doing just that now. Note the average for Zeber. And for a frail-looking fellow, he's got pretty good power.
He had 3 home runs and 10 runs batted in his 65 at-bats. Lives in Orange, California. So with 2 on and 1 out, the pitch to Zeber is high and away. For ball 1. So now anxiety begins to grow a little in the Dodger dugout, and that brings pitching coach Red Adams up and out and on the way to the mound to talk.
Little talk to settle him down, hopefully, but they vividly remember what happened last Friday in Philadelphia. When Christensen, the Philadelphia pitcher, was up, Hooten had him 1 ball, 2 strikes, thought he struck him out, got an adverse call from the umpire. Then Hooten walked Christensen, walked the next 3 men, and before you knew it, the Phils had overtaken a 2-0 Dodger lead and were ahead 3-2, and Hooten was gone. in our pregame show. That's exactly what Hooten talked about as he told Ross Porter that he had learned a lot from that game, most particularly not to let his emotions run away from him. Let's see what happens to him here.
With one out, Vanilla at second base, Bucky Dent at first, George Zever at the plate. That pitch is high. It's 2 balls and no strikes. And the crowd now begins to come alive. A very responsive gathering of some 56,000 plus here at Yankee Stadium. That quiets him just for a second at least. It's now 2-1 on an 88-mile-an-hour fastball from Bert Hooten.
The point is, and Tom has made it, for the Yankees to get back into the ball game, they must capitalize. They must peck away and make it a close game. They can't waste these hits.
Foul at the plate, and it's 2-2. The crowd, to be precise, 56,691, which means the first 2 games of the World Series have drawn 113,359. Mickey Rivers, the man waiting on deck. 2 on, 1 out for the Yankees. Their first real threat of the ball game. First major threat. Strike 3 called. George Zever caught looking at a red-hot fastball on the inside corner.
All fastballs. Went with his fastball.
He really crossed Zever up.
I tell you, when Hooten gets in trouble, he starts throwing his curveball high. When he was getting his strikeouts earlier, when he was throwing the knuckle curveball, he was getting it down in the strike zone. But when he hangs that thing, he's going to get in trouble. There, he had a pinch hitter up, didn't fool around, went right with his fastball.
He has now struck out 7 in the ball game, and he comes high and away to Mickey Rivers.
All right, here's the key right here in the Yankee ball club. Mickey Rivers, 9 hits in the series against Kansas City. They haven't exploded in this series, even though they won yesterday.
Foul.
And the reason, as you know, Tommy, is the Dodgers have thus far contained Rivers. He's been to the plate 7 times, doesn't have a base hit yet.
Well, listen, don't think that the Dodgers don't know that. Now, I mean, the Yankees won last night, and Mickey Rivers didn't get a hit. Now, the Dodgers are going to have to contend with Mickey Rivers when he is hitting, and it's going to be even more difficult for them to win.
High, 2-1. It's 2 out and 2 on.
They need a hit here. They got men on. They've got to score in this inning.
Vanilla at second. Dent at first. 2 down. Rivers high in the air. Might be a play for Yeager. Not quite. Second row. Hey up! You suck! Last night played Rivers deep. Tonight he's playing him on the edge of the grass, and sometimes in as much as 5-6 steps at third base. Now he's settling down just at the edge of the grass with a count 2-2.
Still giving Rivers a lot of that foul line, though. Rivers' pet place, but he hasn't found it yet in this series.
Ball is hit in the air to left field for Dusty Baker. Drifting toward the line, makes the catch. And so Bert Hooten bears down and works his way out of a jam. After 5, the score 5-1 Dodgers. Back with more baseball after this word from our local stations.
Thursday, Red Fox pumps iron, gets married, enjoys a good book, gets wet, becomes an inventor, and faces the audience.
How about you, sir? Look for me here. I seen you on the rice box.
On the Red Fox Comedy Hour.
Watch tomorrow on ABC.
When do you say Budweiser?
After a good bout on the lake with the water ski.
In about 2 minutes. And that's about, what, 120 seconds?
When do you say Budweiser?
When I'm fishing and when I finish fishing.
Right after I finish painting this van.
Whatever I can. On a hot day like today.
Before I go to bed.
When you say Budweiser.
Budweiser.
You said it all.
I got Midas-sized in Topeka, Kansas. Just goes to show you're never too old.
I got Midas-sized in Brooklyn, New York. Words cannot express my satisfaction.
You can get Midas-sized at over 800 Midas shops across the country. And if anything ever goes wrong, we'll replace the muffler free as long as you own your American-made car.
No matter where you are, next time you hear that noise, don't compromise. Midas-sized!
Hello, I'm Larry Kane for Eyewitness News. Our cameras will be live at Yankee Stadium immediately following the second game of the series, and there's a new connection to the Diamond Center murders. We'll see you after the game.
Planet of the Apes tomorrow on the 4:30 movie.
The Empire State Building, wrapped, lit in blue and white in honor of the Yankees opening the World Series here at home, and fairly gleaming. The old landmark. And look here, Donna Davarona, with whom we worked at so many Olympic events in swimming coverage, enjoying the ball game tonight. Ken Clay now comes on to pitch for the New York Yankees. He is a 23-year-old rookie from Lynchburg, Virginia. Pitched at Syracuse earlier this year, where he was 5-1. He was called up by the Yankees on June 6.
Donna looks prettier than when she worked for us. What does that portend, Keith?
Yeah. Oh, I haven't seen her since Montreal. Jim Hunter started for New York tonight, went 2 1/3 innings, 5 earned runs on 5 hits, 3 home runs. Dick Tidrow succeeded him, and now here at the top of the 6th inning, young Ken Clay called on to face the heavyweights in the Dodger batting order, Ron Cey, Steve Garvey, and Dusty Baker. Clay, the Yankees' #2 selection in 1972 June free agent draft. Started West Haven, went to Syracuse, and stayed at Syracuse until called up by the big club. So we've seen 2 of the Yankee youngsters in a brief time in the middle of this ball game. George Seaver pinch hitting, and now Ken Clay on the mound. And Cey takes fastball low. Looks like they've seen a few baseball games, doesn't it? Cey breaks his bat, grounds it to Bucky Dent. Dent throws him out.
First baseman.
I got collared by a fellow the other night who wanted to know why they don't package bleacher seats during the season so they could get on record as season ticket buyers. That way they'd have a shot at getting some World Series tickets.
What makes you think it's a bad idea?
I don't think it's a bad idea. First time I'd heard it. 1 away for Steve Garvey. A single in 2 trips tonight. Hits it to the right side. Chambliss backhands it. Clay covers, and they get him.
Good play.
Cued the ball to the right side. A lot of spin on it. With that big pillow that Chambliss has over there, he handled it without any great difficulty, though it did require some quickness on Chris's part to get to it. Now Dusty Baker. Baker for months worked 6 hours a day, 5 days a week at Dodger Stadium, spent the weekends at a health spa working on that leg to get it in shape. Took the cast off of it. Started working with weights, and here he is, having had a remarkable season. 2 out now. The bases are empty. And Clay is 1-1 as he hits the strike zone with that fastball for strike 1. Outside.
Dodgers this year, of course, had 4 hitters. There's Billy Martin trying to think of something. Dodgers had 4 hitters, 30 home runs or more. Dusty got his on the last day of the season.
There's high to left field, but there's room for it. Did not quite get all of it. Sort of a slapping sound, and Piniella makes the catch. And so Ken Clay comes in and blows the Dodgers down in order. After 5.5, it's 5-1. Dodgers lead.
Eastern time, Friday night, Tommy John and Ron Guidry. Texas and Arkansas, 12:30 Eastern time, followed by World Series game at 4 Eastern time,
and then again on Sunday at 4 Eastern time. As Bert Hooton pitches to Willie Randolph, Ron Cey snaps it up and throws him out. One gone in the bottom of the 6th inning, with the Dodgers on top by a score of 5-1.
Dodgers are hot tonight. Cey makes a good play. Little penguin gets up in the air.
He's a good athlete.
Good arm. Got a good arm over to first base. All the time in the world. Easy play. That game Friday is going to be good, Keith. 2 good pitchers going Friday night. Be a fine game.
Hooton has been impressive in this respect, too. He's been ahead of the hitters all night. He's had only 3 3-2 counts through 5 innings. He struck out 2 of those.
Thurman Munson now stands at the plate for New York. A single and 2 trips. Hits it on the ground to Bill Russell. 2 down.
2 pitches, 2 out.
Making it look easy, isn't he?
Sure is.
He got out of a couple of jams.
Getting the meat. I had mentioned that Rivers had gone out 8 straight times, really 9. Extra inning game last night. Mickey was 0 for 6. So he has been unable to get this club started.
Those 2 pitchers, as Reggie Jackson comes to the plate, Tom referred to in Friday night's ball game. Tommy John, of course, who led the club in wins this year for the Dodgers, and Ron Guidry, young left-hander, who was such a strong performer for the Yankees this past season. Reggie Jackson takes low. Reggie in the ball game tonight has struck out looking and grounded sharply into a double play. High pop. Yeager comes back looking for room and goes to the screen and can't get it. Ball just hangs up on top of the foul screen. And so Reggie stays in at 1-1. Thurman Munson, Reggie Jackson, and Chris Chambliss so far tonight have managed to get 1 ball out of the infield against Bert Hooton.
The key play here for the Dodgers, as far as defensive, was Garvey's play on Jackson back in the 4th inning. That really saved him. Nobody out, hit the ball hard right down the line. They got a run out of it. Something a little chilly in the dugout there. Ron Guidry on the Yankee dugout.
He's the little left-hander, weighs about 153 pounds, but I'll guarantee you he gets out there on the mound, he gets a whole lot bigger. Jackson swings and misses and strikes out. And so Bert Hooton blows him down at the bottom of the 6th inning after 6 complete innings. Dodgers 5, Yankees 1.
Well, it looks like that fire is just about out, Keith. Fire department deserves a lot of credit for their prompt action, assuming our surmisal is correct.
An old building like that, particularly a vacant building, can get out of hand pretty quick. But that building was vacant, as we're told. Ken Clay out there pitching now to Rick Monday, Steve Yeager, and Bert Hooton, and he misses inside ball 1 on his first pitch. Rick Monday has a single in 2 trips, playing center field tonight for the Dodgers. Right-handers on the mound, and we've had a succession of them, starting with Jim Hunter, Dick Tidrow, and now Ken Clay. And Clay is bringing the ball to the plate all right at about 94 miles an hour, according to the Jugs gun.
He can fire it, and he is not afraid.
He'll be young and strong again. Fire him up there at 94 miles an hour.
Hot water bottles are beginning to show up here on an autumnal evening.
Tom has one here in the booth. At his age, you need it.
No.
Who had that hot water? Was that Art Fowler?
Yeah, he was a coach. Maybe he's holding it for somebody.
3-1 now to Monday. High to left field. Vanilla. 1 down.
comfortably waiting, hoping, expectantly. Billy Martin now. Frustration beginning to get a hold of him in the top of the 7th inning, with the Dodgers leading 5-1. That pitch is low. The spacious regions of Dodger Field do not particularly favor the Yankee left-handers either. If you can handle them in this ballpark, you would think, at least on theory, that you could handle them there. Greg Nettles on the high bouncer, throws out Steve Yeager. Now it'll be Bert Hooton. Interesting little note made in idle conversation that in the championship series for both leagues, the teams that won the opener did not win the pennant. Whatever that means.
Well, there she is. Miss Barbara Walters, ABC Evening News.
High foul out of play by Bert Hooton with nobody aboard and 2 out here in the top of the 7th inning.
Well, if you want to get into baseball history, there have been 5 first-game extra inning games in the World Series. 1 was called on account of darkness. The other 4 games, the team that won the first game of the series in extra innings 3 times lost the World Series.
There's a strike.
I don't know what that orders, if anything. But yesterday we mentioned the 14-inning game is the longest game. Red Sox 2, Dodgers 1 in 1916. What was interesting there is we looked at a called ball. That game was pitched all 14 innings by a pitcher named George Herman Babe Ruth.
That's right. Oh, Hooton got some wood on it and gives Lou Piniella a little action in left field to retire the side. So Ken Clay now has retired the Dodgers in order on successive innings for Chambliss left center field. High pop left side out of play upstairs. And Sparky Lyle is up in the bullpen. Sparky, who pitched 3 2/3 innings last night, is up throwing again as Hooton comes high and away for ball 1. 1-1 now to Chambliss, the Yankee first baseman. Pitch is high. It's 2-1. There's Sparky. When he first gets up with a fresh plug in the side of his jaw, I'm always afraid he's going to permanently dismember himself. Chambliss hits it deep to right field. Smith is over at the track, makes the catch. For a moment, the crowd came up, but then Reggie Smith put up his hand, and the crowd sat down.
Sparky wants the winner's share. He's looking at another Maxwell.
Yeah, did you see that 1925 Maxwell? He can outrun it.
Bert Hooton pitching beautifully. Didn't he have a hypnotist?
Yes, he did. Swing and a miss by Greg Nettles. Confidence was the factor that he was looking for, and he got it
from the hypnotist.
Yes. He's got it here tonight. I'll say that for him. He's pitching a fine baseball game. It was a good changeup.
Foul back here. Also point out that at the beginning of the 1975 season, the Texan dropped about 25 pounds in weight, which may have helped him too.
He was a little bit heftier when he was over pitching for the Chicago Cubs.
Nettles takes high, 1-2.
Not the first athlete to use a hypnotist. Kenny Norton had one before the first fight against Ali, March 31st, 1973.
How'd he do?
Kenny won that fight, broke Ali's jaw, and then he dropped the hypnotist. Decided he could beat Ali without him.
Didn't, though, did he?
Not according to the officials.
2-2. High. 3-2. It is wide open down the third base line as the Dodgers set up their defense, but then Nettles has no history of hitting the ball in that direction. He doesn't have to this time because Hooton just walked him. That is the first base on balls given up by Bert Hooton in tonight's ball game. And here
Lou Piniella, who has a single. The first hit of the ball game for the Yankees came from Piniella. Came back in the bottom of the third inning.
This is exactly what they need, Keith. Yankees need base runners. Hooten knows if he gets 8 more outs, he's got himself a victory. Didn't want to walk him, obviously. He may be getting tired. There's a high curveball. Now that's where he gets in trouble, when he gets a curveball up in that area. He could be getting tired.
Now we'll check the Dodger bullpen so far.
There they go. Yes, sir. Yep. There they go.
Sosa and Routson were up previously, sat down some time ago.
He helped him out on that pitch out of the strike zone.
Hooten has now thrown 97 pitches.
97 pitches so far. Remember, only 6 complete games all year long.
Routson, a left-hander. And Elias Sosa, the right-hander in the Dodger pen. 1-1 to Piniella, with Nettles on first base. Lou hits it high to right center field, where Glenn Burke camps, and you've got 2 out. Cliff Johnson comes to the plate. Big Cliff, who played a very big role in the Yankee success of '77, coming over from the Houston Astros. Jolly sort of a fellow. Enjoyed watching him and Preston Gomez, who managed him at Houston, have a little fun tonight before the ball game.
He has tremendous power. He had hit 10 home runs for Houston. Sometimes a pickup of a guy like this is a more important acquisition than a more widely publicized big money pickup. And Gabe Paul knew all about this guy, and he's done a tremendous job for the Yankees.
Johnson played in all 5 games in the American League Championship Series. Chews on a toothpick. Almost inevitably, he'll, as a matter of fact, go to the clubhouse to get one if he forgot to bring one.
That's his trademark. He had that down in Houston, too. I told him when I used to pitch against him, I was going to try and knock it out of his mouth.
He had 6 hits.
I wouldn't want to do that.
No.
2 out now, and Johnson, who is a big target at the plate. Hooten hits the outside corner for a strike.
They call him Heathcliff.
Roy White is in the on-deck circle. Johnson batting for Dent. White will hit for the pitcher if it goes that far.
He is a big, strong man, that Johnson. I'll tell you. You don't argue with him.
Ed Sudol, watch him call the strike now. Good pitch. Watch Sudol. Works right down to the corner, and so there it was, Cliff. So it's 2 strikes.
That was a pitcher's pitch. That's a nice looking thing.
High fly ball, playable. Glenn Burke, right center.
He's tough. Hooten's tough.
The inning is over. The Yankees get a base runner, can't do anything with him. After 7 complete innings, 5-1 Dodgers. Back with more baseball after this word from our local stations. Stop now for the New York Yankees, Fred Stanley, the young man who played that position most of 1976 for them, had a rather decent playoff series for them in '76 as they won the pennant last year. This year spent most of his time on the bench. Bucky Dent came in to play. Dent lifted for the pinch hitter, and the youngster, a nice young fellow, enjoy him. They call him Chicken, and he's out there at shortstop, and he carries a lot of glove for them.
He's a classy ball player, better than your usual backup man. Fits in with the team. Helps make a team go.
Top of the order for the Dodgers here in the top of the 8th inning. Ken Clay pitches, and Davy Lopes beats it right back to him for out number 1. Clay's activity, or his life in the game, if you will, prolonged by the fact that Johnson made the 3rd out, and Roy White was not able to come to the plate to hit for him. So Ken Clay will pitch another inning.
Young man's done a fine job since he's gone in there.
Yes.
And a good job for Billy Martin.
Bill Russell up for the 4th time in the ball game, has 1 hit, has scored a run. Doug Rao is now in the Dodger bullpen throwing. Doug, who has had some trouble with the shoulder. Peter O'Malley, the boss man of the Dodgers, who apparently is in conversation with the commissioner. Russell hits it out into left center field where Mickey Rivers runs it down, and you've got 2 gone. They're probably talking about the transit to the West Coast. Or for that matter, they might be wondering who's going to pack the picnic lunch next Wednesday. I don't know.
Well, we've been here for 2 days now, Keith, watching 2 games and seen some fine plays in the infield. Chambliss and Nettles and Say. Haven't seen a super catch in the outfield yet. Been long, high fly balls.
Reggie Smith, who has doubled and hit a massive home run in the ball game, looks now at ball 1 from Ken Clay. I understand that the weather forecast anticipated today in Los Angeles to be near 90 degrees.
I can testify to that. It was 90 when I was out there last weekend.
2 balls and no strikes.
Doesn't change out there. No change of colors. No change of seasons.
Oh, a little. I can remember having a little ice in the backyard once, several years, 20 years.
That created a decade of crisis. Meanwhile, Rao is working out. I suspect Tommy Lasorda wants to see how his shoulder is. Tommy would not be averse to using 2 left-handed starters.
Well, he's going against the book here at Yankee Stadium and going with both right-handers, and looks like he may get a win tonight. Getting a split out of Yankee Stadium to go home. Tommy John scheduled to go against Ron Guidry on Friday night at 8 Eastern time. Then we'll see about Saturday. 3 balls in 1, 4. That's the 4th ball, and Reggie Smith goes down to first base. It could be that Don Gullett, who pitched so well last night, could come back on Saturday. Says he felt fine today, no pain at all in the shoulder. But then you wonder, what about Mike Torres? He would be due Saturday. Believe it or not, Ken Holtzman is up and throwing in the Yankee bullpen. Ron Say takes a strike.
That's going to astonish a lot of people. Kenny, of course, feels like he's a forgotten man around this Yankee ball club.
Difficult story to handle. A man with a 4-1 record in World Series action. A man who feels totally rejected and even debased. Doesn't like to talk to anybody at this point.
Pitch low.
There he is. One of the many soap opera stories in the year 1977 for the New York Yankees.
Well, it's been some year for the Yankees. They've had all their trials and tribulations and stories and the newspapers, and so-and-so doesn't like so-and-so and all this. And Billy Martin has still held it together. Gabe Paul has still held it together. And they're the American League champions. I think it speaks for themselves. They've done a fine job. There's Billy Martin right there. Fired, they said, in the middle of the season, and he's right here in the World Series.
He's aged a lot.
Just looking at that earlier, he looked awfully tired in those games when he was in Kansas City. He looks pretty rested there tonight.
2-1 pitch to Say. Fouled upstairs.
Watch out, Tom.
No, I got you covered again. I got you. You have to watch the ball off the bat, Howard. Timing is essential.
When did you learn that?
Yankee Stadium. Live picture from the helicopter fluttering overhead. The count 2-2 to Ron Say, with Reggie Smith on first base and 2 out. And Say hits it up the middle. Randolph comes across the back for the force on Smith, and the inning is over after 7.5 innings. In game number 2 of the World Series of 1977, the Dodgers lead the Yankees 5-1. With the extensive vocabulary to define what you see.
You've come a long way, David.
Largest crowd in Yankee Stadium this year, 56,691, which runs the total beyond 113,000 for the 2 games.
The innings have dwindled down. The gentleman on the mound has been in command of this ball game. From a Yankee point of view, it got out of hand early against Catfish Hunter.
Roy White hitting for the pitcher, fouls it off.
Roy White did not have one of his better years, and yet, in a way, it was typical. The batting average usually gets between 12 and 16 homers a year. It's a ball ball, and he gets in his own way a lot of key hits, though not as good as either Henrik or Woodling. Another ball, 2 Yankee good ones, very good ones of the past. Roy White can be likened to either.
Billy Martin on the phone. High fly ball out into right field for Reggie Smith. 1 out.
Surprised me a little bit, Howard, when White didn't hit when Zieber hit for the pitcher in the 5th inning.
I agree with you, because Hooten is difficult to decipher the first time you look at him. The rookie Zieber was looking at him for the first time.
White, of course, a very experienced player. I guess he's the senior Yankee, isn't he?
Yep.
Roy White.
Bottom of the 8th inning now. You're looking at Mickey Rivers with 1 out and nobody on, and Hooten is low. And Hooten threw that high curveball up around the eyes. All kinds of folks started running around in the Dodger bullpen again. They've got action out there with a couple of people warming up. And Rivers hits it high, and he hits it deep to right center. Burke all the way to the warning track, hauls it down.
About 390 feet. That's hitting it out in Grand Canyon again. Big ballpark here. That's got a chance to be out in Dodger Stadium. He hit that ball well.
He has, as I said, surprising power for a small man. Hooten has allowed only 6 base runners. Only 1 runner reached second. He's been a commanding pitcher tonight. No question about it.
Needs 4 outs. He started the inning with 101 pitches. Probably has around 110 now.
Right in with a strike to Randolph.
Home runs by Say in the 1st, Yeager the 2nd, Reggie Smith in the 3rd.
High.
Did in Jim Hunter.
He's still got some heat on the ball. 88. He was throwing 88 early in the ball game.
Been
Still
most
throwing very
consistent.
well.
Yankees got airtight relieving. 2 2/3 innings from Tidrow, 3 innings from Young Clay.
Hard shot to left for Randolph. Look out. Does he have another one? Oh, great running catch by Dusty Baker. Didn't have quite the carry that he put on it last night, where he hit his first World Series home run. We've played 8 innings of play. Los Angeles 5, New York 1. The line score in the ball game as we go to the 9th inning. The top of the 9th, the Dodgers will send Steve Garvey, Dusty Baker, and Glenn Burke to work against Sparky Lyle, who has won 3 successive games in the playoffs. He won a couple, and he was the winning pitcher last night, going 3 2/3.
A lot of second guesses might criticize Martin for putting in Lyle at this point because he worked last night, won his 3rd straight postseason game. But Sparky is a Brazilian pitcher with a rubber arm, and he likes work, and there's an off day tomorrow. So as we look at Billy, his thinking undoubtedly is this will only do him good.
Charlie Huff and Doug Rao in the Dodger pen, just in case they're needed in the bottom of the 9th. Right now, Steve Garvey stands in with 1 hit in 3 trips to the plate. Lyle goes to 2 balls and no strikes to the Dodger first baseman.
Lyle wouldn't pitch any more than maybe 1 or 2 innings, even if I don't think if the Yankees could tie this up. The fact is that they do have an off day tomorrow, and that's the big thing. Sparky is a durable pitcher. He's got tremendous numbers in the last 3 games that he's pitched in. The 3 wins, pitched 13 innings, 8 hits, and 1 earned run, walked nobody, and struck out 3.
Garvey just nailed one, going to left. Piniella goes back to the wall, jumps, and it's in the seats.
And there's a run.
For a home run. So Steve Garvey, who has been quiet, nails one on a line at 385 feet. It is in the seats, but I'll tell you this, Piniella didn't miss it by very much. Couldn't tell until he came down whether or not the ball had actually reached the seats. So Garvey nails the homer, makes it a 6-1 ball game. Now watch how close Piniella comes to it.
Just over the top of his glove. I wasn't watching the monitor. There's another view of it. I was watching the left field. I couldn't tell when he jumped up in the field if he had it. I had to look at the monitor to see him miss it.
So Garvey homers off Lyle to make it 6-1. And here's Dusty Baker. That's hit high in the air. Fred Stanley backs up at shortstop and makes the catch in short left center.
At the point, Tom, an interesting fact of measurement in the reconstruction of the new Yankee Stadium. Oh, here we go again. Fans on the field.
We've had one come out on the left side and managed to get all the way to home plate and slide across it. This one goes out to visit with Reggie in right field. And we've had a couple of firecrackers thrown out of the stands out in that right field area as well. So Reggie just stood there and talked to him until the gendarmes arrive. And
now we got a green smoke bomb going to center field.
Yeah.
Smoke bomb.
That's a lovely display, isn't it? Well, I'll be interested in what Ralph Nader's new organization, Fight to Advance the Nation's Sports, fans for short, does about things like this, or what can they do?
Lyle continues to throw, and they're probably looking around for a shovel or something to pick up the smoke bomb to take it out of the way, and so we can get along with the ball game. The Dodgers have hit 4 home runs in the ball game.
Well, maybe we ought to show that fire in the South Bronx once again. Maybe it's been gravitating over here.
You can see that Jim Hunter started for New York tonight. The Dodgers hit 3 home runs off him. Those homers coming from Ron Say, from Reggie Smith, and from Steve Yeager. He was succeeded by Dick Tidrow, and then Ken Clay came in, and now Reggie goes over with his glove.
Careful, Reg, careful.
Reggie's got his gamer taking a smoke bomb out of here. I played in front of these New York fans for 10 years, the New York Mets, and they're super. They are great baseball fans, and they do some crazy things once in a while, but they get into a ball game and a team as much as anybody around the country.
To put it kindly and literately, they confuse liberty with license.
Now we'll get on with it with 1 out and Glenn Burke at the plate. 1 run in on Garvey's home run. Burke taps it. Thurman Munson out in front makes the play. That's 2 down. The record for home runs in a World Series game, 5. Dodgers have had 4. Here's the man who's hit 1 of them, Steve Yeager, at the plate now.
No question the Dodgers have come up with the long ball tonight. No question the Yankees have been all but helpless in front of Bert Hooton. Tomorrow night, there'll be no game, but there's a guy who made about 1,000 and laughs. His name is Red Fox. And he'll keep
it. Strike 1. Bases are empty for the Dodgers in the top of the 9th inning. 1 run is across on Steve Garvey's first home run in this World Series. Foul tipped, and that got the umpire. Ed Sudol really took a whack. Hit him on the shoulder, huh?
Ed Sudol, Keith, Ed Sudol, I hate to say it, is famous for getting hit by foul tips. He's a little bit different than the other National League umpires. He sits right behind the catcher and is a little bit higher than all the National League umpires. And I swear there isn't a game that goes by that he doesn't get hit by a foul ball. And it gets so bad that once in a while on the bench you'll take a pool up and see when Ed Sudol is going to get hit. Be at the top of the first.
You're kidding, really?
Bottom of the, I mean, it's every game he gets hit. It's really something. You see how high he is over Thurman Munson? He stays on top of it. He exposes himself, I think, more than other umpires. I had him one day in Pittsburgh at Old Forbes Field, and I hit him once, and I didn't hit him. A foul ball hit him once, and then the catcher missed the pitch, went in, hit his collarbone, and almost broke his collarbone. They'd take him to the hospital, took him out of the game.
Ed's been around a while. He's had 21 years in the major leagues, 3rd in time of service. No, 2nd, I guess, in time of service. And 2nd only to pick them on.
They pick these umpires on a rotating basis, Keith. They come in, they work, well, there's a championship series, and then there's the All-Star game, and of course the World Series, and you know, they enjoy this just as much as the players do. I mean, Ed Sudol's not enjoying it as much right now as some of the others. But they enjoy working the World Series. It is an honor. They're definitely an honor.
You have 4 of them in this series working their first. Those being Larry McCoy, Jerry Dale, Jim Evans, and John McSherry. The veterans being Ed Sudol and Nestor Shylock. All right, here we go again now. We're having trouble doing something with Yeager here. 2-strike pitch. Outside, 1-2. Steve's been up there for half an hour. Garman now is up in the Dodger bullpen with Charlie Huff. High pop. Thurman Munson coming back. Coming back. In the 3rd row. So outside of the, I don't know what to call them, turkeys running on the field, I guess.
Turkeys, that's fine. That's perfect.
And the momentary stopping of the game, Ed Sudol being hit with a foul. And
there's Friday night's pitcher, Keith, right there. For the Dodgers, Tommy John, 20-game winner this year. Good candidate for the Cy Young Award.
Rolled at 3rd for Greg Nettles. Throw just in time. And the inning is over. The Dodgers get a run on Steve Garvey's home run. Lead 6-1 going to the bottom of the 9th. Back after this message. Chance for the New York Yankees. With the score 6-1. The Los Angeles Dodgers scoring twice in the top of the 1st, once in the 2nd, twice in the 3rd, and once in the top of the 9th. That is Bill Buehler, the Dodger trainer, and Tom Lasorda out talking to Ed Sudol, who's going to be able to finish the game all right after taking the hard rap on his shoulder. And for New York, as we go to the bottom of the 9th inning, Thurman Munson, Reggie Jackson, and Chris Chambliss.
And Houghton had his best inning of all last inning. He threw only 6 pitches. In the game, he's thrown 111 pitches. He's been the dominant figure in the game. Game has not had any of the excitement of last night's game, which was so terribly exciting. It's been one-sided all the way up to this point.
1 run and 5 hits so far for the Yankees. Munson hits a high pop, coming back. Yeager chases to the screen.
Great play. That's a great play. In a ballpark that Steve Yeager doesn't play in, came right back to the ball. Doesn't really know the dimensions. Here he is. Now look at this. This is a new ballpark for Steve Yeager. Doesn't really know how far exactly it is from that home plate to that wall. Perfect timing. Outstanding defensive catcher, and that was an outstanding play.
You've got 1 out, and the batter is Reggie Jackson with Chambliss on deck.
I'm surprised, Keith, too. Now they're down 6-1. That's first pitch. Even after the first pitch, they need base runners.
Yep.
They got to have somebody on 1st and 2nd and get somebody to pop one in the alley somewhere. 2 outs. 2 outs to go.
Strike. Fastball. The first World Series for Bert Houghton. High, 1-1. Paul Blair was the man.
Yesterday's hero.
High fly ball to left center. Glenn Burke, 2 down.
If there's a fact of life in sport, Tom, as you know, it is that fame is a transitory thing.
Bert Houghton's done a fine job here tonight. Howard, he's done a good job. 6 complete games all year long.
He's today's hero.
He is today's hero. Yesterday was Paul Blair. And don't forget the guy down at first base that turned that double play either. He may have turned this entire game around. Steve Garvey.
Right. Strike 1 to Chris Chambliss. Our research for the ball game of the series by Jerry Klein. As Chris Chambliss hits a high fly ball to right center field for Burke. The ball game is over, and the Los Angeles Dodgers have pulled even. with the New York Yankees as the Dodgers defeat the Yankees by a score of 6-1 in the second game. And so the series will move to the West Coast. Off tomorrow for travel, resumes Friday night. Bert Hooton goes 9 innings, 1 earned run, 5 hits. He struck out 8, he walked 1.
I'd like the viewers to note before you close out, Keith, these Dodgers are not full of jubilation, jumping over one another. They're a kind of passionless team. They don't have the outward fire of the Yankees.
Marvelous performance tonight by the right-hander. Bert Hooton beats the Yankees 6-1.
In a sense, it was a gamble for Billy Martin pitching Catfish Hunter. Hunter hasn't pitched since September 10th, but there were other factors too, and we'll get them from Jerry Girard. Jerry?
Yeah, the most obvious one is that even before he stopped pitching earlier in the year, Catfish just wasn't effective, and that was the case tonight. So it's probably the last we've seen, or will see, of Catfish Hunter for the World Series. Final score 6-1 Dodgers. The series now tied at 1 game apiece. First inning, we didn't know it at the time, but it was all over. The winning hit came on a home run. First 2 batters up hit the ball solidly and made out, but then Reggie Smith came up against Catfish, got one right down the middle, and zoomed it up the alley in right center. A double, the 3rd consecutive solid shot off Catfish Hunter. It was an omen there, and then Ron Say got a breaking pitch, looked like a slider that hung up there, and boom. Home run, the first of 4 for the Dodgers, and 3 of them by right-handed batters. Now let me tell you something. They proved they've got legitimate power because 3 right-handed hitters hit home runs to left field in Yankee Stadium. It doesn't happen very often. The Yankees have got a big challenge on their hands. Now, Game 3 will be at Los Angeles on Friday night. Again, time 8 o'clock, 8:15 play-by-play. I will have more Yankee highlights and highlights from the Rangers at the Garden, who open tonight.
Howard Cosell talks too much. Why? He speaks about anything. He adds ITN on the end of a word so it sounds big.
Trade him to the Red Sox. I'm surprised they don't have Scooter on. I turned him on last night. He wasn't on. They just had Howard. Can't watch him.
Sportscasters could be a little better. Why? Well, I find they put a little too much talk into it. You know, too much description that's not necessary outside of the game itself.
Do you watch the World Series on TV? Yes, I do.
Okay, what do you think of the sportscasters?
I think they're fine.
You like Howard?
Yes, I do.
Channel 11's good, but Howard Cosell, I can't stand him.
What do you think of the sportscasters on the World Series? Good. You like Howard Cosell?
Yeah, no. Awful. Absolutely obnoxious.
Howard Cosell, I could leave him.
Well, I'll take Ozuna over Howard Cosell any day.
What's wrong with Howard?
Howie, I'd like to steal his toupee, and that's all I can say.
If you were watching the World Series tonight, you may have wondered about that fire just a few blocks from the stadium. Well, it was a 5-alarm fire in an abandoned school building, the old PS3 in the Melrose section of the Bronx. It began about 7:15 and was not put out until just minutes ago. The building collapsed a section at a time. No one's reported injured, and the fire didn't spread since most of the surrounding area has already been burned out. It will be a while before anyone can find out where and how the fire started.